I'd also like to bring in Mohammad Kamru Zaman. He's a journalist from Bangladesh. So let's just get a sense of what's happening on the ground. Kamru Zaman, thank you so much for joining us. The elections were rather peaceful. We're looking at results coming in. Tarique Rahman set to become the next Prime Minister. Prime Minister Modi, in fact, has congratulated him already for the big win. But there are incidents that are occurring in Bangladesh that are of concern. Incidents against the minorities, which is what we're discussing right now. Tell us what's really happening on the ground. Are those concerns something that BNP is looking at, BNP leadership is looking at?
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, Tarique Rahman, people are now welcoming Tarique Rahman as the next Prime Minister of Bangladesh. You know that according to unofficial result that has been published even by most of the local media, leading newspapers, more than two-third majority have been owned by Tarique Rahman's alliance, mostly BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So it's certain that Tarique Rahman is going to be the next Prime Minister. And Tarique Rahman already during his election campaigning several times promised that if his party goes to power, then they would ensure safety, security of all the people in this country, minorities. Even Tarique Rahman said that he considers Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Christians, whoever living in this country as the citizen of this country, and safety of all the citizens will be ensured. So according to that promise, of course, after taking oath and forming government, Tarique Rahman will take measures so that all are safe here in this country. And actually, the election, despite different competition, election was held peacefully, except some minor incidents in some areas.
Okay. Minor incidents, Gaurav. We'd like to see how the BNP is going to look at securing the country at a time when Jamaat, that's the question over here, when Jamaat, Gaurav, has already said that there has been malpractice, that the outcome is not to their liking, that they have been a party known to persecute minorities when things don't go their way. What is going to happen when it comes to the Jamaat-e-Islami, Shubir?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Jyoti Rahman, do you see this? Do you see this escalate, or do you see the new establishment? They would be able to put a hold on this, or will they let, as it has been argued in the past, after every elections, minorities are targeted or rival factions are targeted? So, do you see Hindus being targeted or other minorities being targeted for being voters this time of BNP?
The key critical question is how quickly the new government is formed, because this would be restoring law and order in general, and particularly safeguarding the communal violences against Hindus and other minority communities, but also, as Shubirda has said, the Sufi Muslims or Muslims of that Jamaat doesn't like. So restoring law and order and particularly protecting the communities, communal harmony would be top of BNP's priority, because if they fail to do so, then they have lost from day one, right? So they are very much aware of this. Question is how quickly the new government is formed. Since they have won a massive majority, there is not really any reason to delay. Normally, if you have a hung parliament, you have to do coalition negotiations. That can take a week, 10 days, 2 weeks. It happens in any country. But when you have won a massive landslide, you have the mandate, there is no reason to delay. Ramadan is coming up in a few days. You'd expect that the cabinet would be formed before that, before the fasting begins. I mean, that would be common sense view. And therefore, I would expect that the government will be formed, and then it is on BNP. And as I said, because their survival depends on this, they will stamp out, or they would de-escalate, take the necessary measures, and so on.
What is very interesting at this point of time is the referendum outcome and the poll outcome. And Indrajeet, on ground zero, you've been speaking to the people in Dhaka and in Bangladesh, across Bangladesh, about what they expect post-referendum and what they expect from a new government. Is there an apprehension this could lead to a clash between Muhammad Yunus and Tarique Rahman and supporters of both?
Not really. What people in Dhaka, the ordinary citizens, what they were seeking is a respite. because they've had enough of this turmoil, this political uncertainty in this country, because that has a direct bearing on the day-to-day lives of the common masses. And that's precisely one of the reasons why we saw such a huge turnout, because they want an end to this interim government. They want an end to this entire political crisis. They want a stable government, and the results clearly indicate what the people want. It's a clear mandate. There is no hung parliament. There is no worry of horse trading right now. The BNP has been given a clear mandate right now, and my understanding is I've spoken to several BNP leaders, top leaders here over the past 72 hours, and they seem to be in a reconciliatory mode. They want to reboot ties with India. They don't want to do anything that would, bring back memories of the old BNP regime. The political context in Bangladesh has changed. In the absence of Awami League, that the political vacuum that has been created of a liberal, progressive space, the BNP is projecting itself like that. If you go through its manifesto, the new manifesto that was released by Tarique Rahman, it calls for equality, it calls for progressive politics. And given that there has been a shift in Bangladesh politics, with the young generation now asserting themselves, it's somehow Tarique Rahman had to respond to the youth and become the face of some sort of a progressive politics in Bangladesh, which is in sharp contrast to what the Jamaat had to offer, or Dr. Shafiqur Rahman had to offer. Now that has clearly been rejected. In that sense, I would believe that the BNP would really want to reboot their ties with India. It does help that Prime Minister Modi has now reached out and sent a congratulatory message, one of the first world leaders to congratulate Tarique Rahman. And we are expecting a reciprocation from the end of the BNP anytime soon.
Right. Indra, stay on with us.